You may well believe that it would take a miracle for you to stop smoking for good. And so, here today, this miracle is available to you by way of gentle hypnosis, which means there's nothing at all that you need to do other than hear these words of change, walk with these words of change, even if from time to time, this being single-eye hypnosis, they may sound a little different, they may sound a little strange. Just imagine, if you will, that there is a place where you can go, where, with no questions asked, you can have your nicotine addiction completely removed. That's right, cut right out of your system with surgical precision, leaving you in a state where you just don't have any further interest in nicotine, smoking or vaping, where your entire mental, emotional, and physical involvement with that tricky little chemical stops. No longer hooked, no longer even interested in the stuff, because, as is your experience throughout your life until now, reality is what you personally experience this as being, and not what some other person might want to tell you it is. And in merely being aware of this fact, in holding on to this fact, you now have the best advantage where nicotine, that tricky little chemical, is now concerned, perhaps for the very first time in your life. And so, turning your mind away from the world of the ordinary and realizing that other, more pleasurable perspectives do exist, it becomes easily possible, by gentle hypnosis, to find, isolate, and entirely extract all remaining addiction in each and every part of you, so that you just don't want it anymore. So, seeing now that there is, in fact, an easier way to find release, you can now hear these words of change. Walk with these words of change with open heart, and in doing so, accept that you do deserve to experience a miracle. And so, for those of you who want this done today in one, please close your eyes. Be ready now to take this new departure and kindly bring to mind the reasons why you started smoking all that time ago, if you can, and whilst you're doing this, you can notice that you're breathing by resting all attention in this flow of living breath to focus only on these gentle words, this easy, pleasant breathing, being unpolluted air, gently, deeply, fully, hearing all these words which I am saying in between their easy rhythm, merging through this endless flow of soothing respiration, interleaving words and breath, seeing scenes imagined, tricky situations found and fully solved. You mesmerize the monster, you grasp it by the tail, an adventure where you win your prize, defeat that evil monster, and prevail. And having left that disappointing outside world behind you for full comfort feeling here within, you can become within, between and through this always open passageway, this ever-present doorway now. For easy breathing always goes so safely through. You leave the outside world so far behind you, purely breathing in this other state of mind, an automatic pleasure now because of change being something humans do so well, imagining this breathing being good steps moving forward on your path to full release, an easy, simple way to breathe, relief forever, and when all is said and done, becomes insistently attractive, and so delivers on its own this new existence, this brand new world, imagining the endless wealth of feelings soon to be revealed. You hear me say these words, and see and feel and taste, experience these things which words I say through time evoke. The song of a single bird singing in a vast wood. The smell of freshly folded sheets, eating apples, an airship on an ocean of adventure, receiving good news, putting things away, ready now for lasting change. 6 steps to freedom. A knotty problem solved. Sailing over the moon. Tartan velvet snowdrops. wooden benches in the park, bare feet on a sandy beach, one sock, a brightly smiling octopus, the other sock, a drawer full of socks, easy laughter, finding pleasure through your focus on these words alone. Baskets of flowers, two fish with green collars, nursery rhymes, smelling lemons, memories of easy times, falling into deeply wakeful sleep, flowing with this gentle current inwards, enters now a deeper change, and finding here your summit. Enter now your field of dreams, a delightful prospect in the distance, gorgeous inner feeling flows, gorgeous inner feeling grows. A hot air balloon, a miraculous event, and all is well, forever, every day. Washing your hands in warm, relaxing water. Finishing work in time for good. Snug, comfortable shoes. Frosty mornings, crunchy underfoot. Finding keys. Doing the right thing. Doing the left thing. Loud, pink, multicolored stripes. A bright and lovely summer's afternoon. Your very own balloon. So bright and vibrant, and flying high breaks every tie, leaving planet Nicotine to sail across the moon. Stopping all self-harm, dissolving habits easily, so no desire for more, giggling with dolphins, gentle breezes on the skin, forgetfulness from all those ties before, finding joy in changing something easily, seeing this solution as your own, reorganizing now those things are gone, feeling so much better, so very differently about it all, seeing change as natural and necessary, knowing this is always here and now. A detailed explanation brings your full cooperation. A dark obsession gone for good. Reward for being patient, faithful, still. Relief and relaxation. Resting in contentment. A deeper calm. Quiet, optimistic feeling grows. Glad memories, exchanging knots for happiness. So all that angst just fades away, because it was so easily relieved, achieved, and done. Noticing that nothing else is necessary now. Noticing the nonsense you believed. This new perspective opening forever. And all of this is just because you've found your deeper satisfaction through these gentle journeys inwards, down, towards, and through your peaceful center, where a deeper peace is helping you more deeply than before. And under this place of bliss is welcoming. So knowing now that miracles are sensible, resting in forgiveness here and now. And due to this, a certain sense that what once was so dark and quite immovable was no more than a notion in your mind. So now you just don't want it. So let it go, and just like that, you see a crowd of people, none of whom are helpful, but you look at them forever. Now and then you see a man appearing, smiling in a wetsuit, holding up a sign that says, "Please follow me, unhook yourself, be clear." He notices your notice, then he disappears into the crowd. You know to go to be his shadow. Opens now the crowd along a lightly pastel-shaded colors corridor, forms pleasing pink and purple marble. Big balloon is in the air. You find a glowing passageway which leads you through dimensions rare and fascinating. Feelings and sensations fill your mind. From places, flavors, sounds and textures, drifting dreams, a stream of flowing future facts in ever-changing focus. You see the moon pass under you, below, and so, escaping now the world of nicotine, and seeing close beside you here, inviting sights and entrances to worlds of opportunity. You take this one, you glide inside, and find yourself behind this person standing just in front of you at the airport in a queue, and ready now to take your final journey from a darker way of breathing to a brighter one. Flying being, the quickest way of getting anywhere. But, ironically, right now, you have to wait here in this line of people, patiently, faithfully, expectantly, knowing that when all of this is over, when all of this is done, your life will have changed for good. And people are talking. As they do, there are, just here in front of you, two people chatting, your ears in automatic hearing mode. You hear excited conversation, something new. And no, you're not being nosy. Overhearing this, your ears can't help but be open. So these words just go right in. As they do, you hear them just like this, as any person would, because none of us can help that we can hear. Gladly hearing, one saying to another, in delighted surprise, "What has happened to you? I've never seen you looking so well before, ever." The quick and honest answer piques your interest, your unself-conscious, focused frame of mind. Immediately you hear, "I stopped smoking." The response to this being a little doubtful. You? But the reply to that being sure, certain, and without any trace of doubt whatsoever. Yes, I most certainly have stopped smoking, and vaping too, for that matter. But how? I didn't think you'd ever stop. Ah, me neither. But it was simple and so much more effective than I could possibly have imagined. So, how did I do it? Well, I had my nicotine glands completely removed. You had your what? I had my nicotine glands completely removed. I had them cut right out. Really? Did it work? Is it good? Is it good? It's a miracle, and I'm over the moon about it. And here, the word miracle strikes the deepest chord within you. You want this. You want your miracle too. You absolutely do. Simply because of how seemingly impossible you found it to give this poison up. And so, you carry on hearing this conversation. Was it painful? Not in the slightest. It was painless, it was easy, it was simple, it was quick, because it's a straightforward operation done by keyhole surgery, and anyone, any person can have it done. Easier than getting a mole removed, far more effective and completely permanent, because it removes the root of the problem. Can't understand how I'd never heard of it before, until I overheard one of the military doctors involved explaining to a medic that because of secret contracts between the government and the tobacco industry, this simple procedure must be kept off the records, out of the public eye, and so can only legally be carried out on military Air Force bases, where normal laws just don't apply. So, virtually no one outside of the military ever gets to hear about it, because they only carry it out on military airfields, at RAF Lakenheath in England and RAF Harris in the northwest of Scotland. It's become available now simply because of the Human Rights Act, which states that whilst this simple procedure can't be openly publicized and must remain a secret, the complete nicotine gland removal procedure still must be made accessible to the public. And that's because of the damage that nicotine actually causes people, meaning that anyone, any person with a nicotine addiction, whether by smoking, vaping, or whatever, simply doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. Nationality doesn't matter. A person need only arrive at the gates of either of these two military airfields, RAF Lakenheath in England or RAF Harris in the northwest of Scotland. Inform them there that you're here for complete removal of your nicotine glands, and they can't refuse you as they're legally required to take you straight in and perform the full procedure without any questions asked. Other than your name, of course. I'm astonished, the other person says. I never knew. So few do know, this person agrees. I can't think what I would have done if I hadn't found this out. I really was at my wit's end with smoking, vaping, nicotine, the whole pathetic pantomime. I couldn't get away. It was like being tied to the ground. But now, I'm completely free, and it was so easy. Get it done. It's a miracle. You'll be over the moon, and you'll never want another puff. So, you'll be happier than you've been forever. And so, of course, you do decide to do the very same, knowing just how important this is. Arriving at RAF Harris in the northwest of Scotland just a few days later, and now optimistic and excited about getting this horrible habit, this tricky little chemical, cut out of your life once and for all. Fully understanding why you've never heard of this before, and thankful for the oddities of the British legal system, allowing this release to take place, but not allowing anyone to know about it. British to the core, you suppose. And you find, to your great relief, that after a simple formality at the military base entrance, the personnel there, obviously quite accustomed to the whole procedure, take you straight inside. And you don't have to wait very long at the reception desk either, before a cheerfully confident officer in a crisp uniform arrives to assist you. She goes over your details, confirming your identity, and then she asks you to accompany her to the place where all of this will be done for you. Eagerly, you follow this confident officer along an empty corridor, down several steps of pink marble stairs, along another corridor, and down one final set of stairs, this time made of purple marble, until you reach the sleek glass vehicle which drives the two of you down this brightly lit tunnel, all the way into what must be the very heart of the Scottish mountain. And it's obvious to you now that you've reached a very deep level indeed. The atmosphere here reflecting all of this so well, an ever deepening calm, where everything is so much more deeply peaceful than before, as if the outside world has gone to sleep, leaving you so very safe in knowing that this type of peace is truly real. This feeling does exist, and as you travel deeper now and deeper, wonderfully, the deeper you go, the better you feel about all of this. And your accompanying officer seems to feel the very same. The deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go, until, at last, at what must be close to the deepest level now, you've arrived, and this young person leads you now through the final door, which opens onto the most hygienic room you could ever manage to imagine existing. But you don't have to imagine, because this is clearly real, being so sparklingly clean and smelling so uncompromisingly fresh that you believe you detect the smell of stale nicotine on your clothes and on your hands, the taste in your mouth, and you don't like that smell, that taste, that clinging odor. Unsurprising, because of the fact that you don't like nicotine. You just don't want it anymore. The very reason why you're here, of course, because you now know surgical removal is final. And in this room, the military surgeon introduces herself, the one who is very shortly going to completely remove all remaining interest in nicotine. A deeply pleasing feeling. This room, smelling so clean and so precise that everything seems exactly in its proper place, that you feel an ever-growing certainty that this is the place where the miracle you have been awaiting, now expecting, is just about to happen. The military surgeon says to you directly, with huge confidence in her winning smile, I'm legally required to inform you of the details of the nicotine gland removal procedure you are just about to undergo. And this comes as no surprise to you at all, feeling yourself nod readily in agreement. Thank you, says she. Now, I also need your full agreement to and acceptance of the following statements, a video recording of which will be kept to document your agreement and acceptance. You nod in full comprehension, wondering where the camera might be. The surgeon continues. You are here willingly to have your nicotine glands completely removed so that your nicotine addiction is entirely removed. I am, you reply, convinced now that this procedure really, truly, absolutely is taking place. She proceeds. Once your procedure is complete, you will be a non-smoker, a non-vapor, a free person for the rest of your life. You nod your acceptance. Having had all interest in nicotine nullified, you nod again. Having no further connection to or involvement with smoking or vaping, all former attraction irreversibly turning to acute aversion, and again, because you won't be able to ingest nicotine other than with extreme displeasure. You need to be certain about this. Smoking or vaping can no longer tempt you. Having lost all interest in this tricky little chemical, utterly, no longer your thing, no longer your affair, something that simply doesn't interest or bother you, something no longer even noticed, a rejected delusion, an unpleasant activity seen for what it truly is and always was, and so, therefore, easily forgotten, seeing nicotine as a dark and obnoxious, hurtful habit, realizing that smoking or vaping has always been tragic self-harm. You agree to all of this readily and easily, this being a clear description of the miracle you want to experience come true. This procedure is simple, safe, secure, and consistently 100% effective due to the surgical precision with which this is carried out. And as the surgeon continues these statements of fact, this room fills up with the required and necessary military medics to prepare everything for the simple surgical procedure that is now a foregone conclusion, bringing you the deepest reassurance. Nicotine, the surgeon says, is, as you probably know, produced by the tobacco plant in a natural way, nicotine being a natural substance, but an exceptionally unnatural and therefore damaging substance when smuggled into the human body, which is why, when nicotine is consumed on a regular basis, the body is naturally forced into physical change because of this unnatural invasion, developing nicotine glands in your head, your stomach, and your hands, 6 of them in total, as a response to this unnatural activity. And these 6 glands, being of unnatural origin, learn to override the signaling system for both the mind and the body, convincing the body by tricking the mind into accepting them as an everyday part of your feelings. They are not. Nicotine glands are abnormal, functioning in a totally unnatural way, consuming huge resources of energy and vitality, crucial resources badly needed elsewhere, which is, of course, why nicotine users suffer, feeling drained and demotivated, and the mind and the body can't help but notice this, being why you don't like nicotine. So, the body and the mind together become aware of this, and naturally sound the alarm, causing anxiety and stressful feelings, but the nicotine glands hijack this signal, deviously converting this distress into a desire, a feeling for a need to take more nicotine by smoking or by vaping, which is precisely why this has, in the past, seemed like such an impossible thing for you to stop, to cut it out of your life, which, therefore, is precisely why this solution is so simple, so effective, and so satisfyingly permanent. Because once your nicotine glands have been completely removed and you've lost all desire to smoke or vape, because you just don't want it. Because, as I said, your nicotine glands have been removed. Your whole nicotine addiction has gone, since all involvement has been removed at root, at base, fundamentally, cut out completely. And so, since there is nothing to produce any desire for nicotine, nicotine will no longer be a bother to you, because you just don't want it. You can see it this way. Imagine if you had a large, disfiguring growth on your face. It would be a source of great upset, and you'd obsess about it. But when you've had that growth surgically removed, it then has no power to bother you, because the entire thing has gone, has been cut right out. And this is certain. So, you'll be doing a lot more smiling, obviously, because after this, nicotine can only taste distinctly poisonous and evil, because it is. And the reason for this is that the complete removal of your nicotine glands returns your body and your mind to that of a non-smoker, a non-vapor, causing even the thought of nicotine to thereafter be experienced as something quite obnoxious, that you just don't want this substance in your body anymore. Meaning, rejecting nicotine is now automatic. She gives you her wonderful, winning smile. And all of this sounding so clear, so simple, so easily understandable that any person can now see how this horrible addiction works and why. Therefore, complete surgical removal is the most obviously desirable permanent solution. You thank your lucky stars for the Human Rights Act, the kindly, caring attitude of this surgeon, and are now eagerly anticipating taking the sleeping tablet the military surgeon is handing to you now, ensuring that all of this will be utterly pain-free. And this sleeping tablet is fully effective. A military-grade anesthetic wonderland of delightful, happy feelings, drifting on a breeze of warming air, allowing you to slip into the deepest relaxation, letting go in every way at last, slipping into ever deeper, pleasant feelings, knowledge of complete relief, waves of gentle pleasure rising over now and through these layers of mind, her words of explanation, simple, clear, accepted fully, automatically. True words you hear again in so many different ways of confirmation, and you realize, drifting ever deeper, that you're dreaming now, deeply through this full, complete procedure, and as addictive glands are surgically removed, you dream this dream. You walk a single path alone. A bright and lovely summer's afternoon is all around, and whilst the weight of nicotine still drags you down, you have great hope, and looking up, you see hot air balloons soaring high into the sky above, allowing those inside their baskets to escape that tricky little chemical for good. You now recall you heard some person say, "This is the way," leading to your field of dreams, they said, where you could find your own balloon and you can fly away, escape that tricky little chemical for good. So still you walk, you climb another hill, and wonder if those things they said were true, that you can really fly away from all of this, exchange your daily nicotine for simple, easy, unaddicted bliss. And then, just here, right now, you reach your very summit. Now you see out across the wide and open plain, so plainly there you clearly see your field of dreams, an airfield of hot air balloons. You've reached the place where people do escape from nicotine so easily. You've reached your field of dreams, and so you want this too. Ah yes, you do. And now, and not so very far away, you see your own balloon. So now believe those things they said, because, as you now see, they're proving to be absolutely true. Your balloon is big, it's bold, it's beautiful, and you know this is yours, holding so much potential, becoming ever bigger with every step that brings you nearer, towering above you now, its vast body hardly leaving any room for sky. Its multicolored stripes are bright and vibrant in the glowing summer light. Excitement rises as you find yourself already moving forwards now towards it, mesmerized by its promise of escape, its promise of complete release. Seeing now the wicker basket just beneath is anchored to the ground, a strong and sturdy vehicle, safe passage from this tricky little chemical. And gripping now the side of the basket, this feels right. This feels strong. This feels safe. Deeply sensing knowledge that this is your means of absolute escape, and that now you are very, very close to where permanent change becomes you. And walking round this basket on the ground, you see there are 6 ropes holding your basket to the earth, knotted fast and tightly all around 6 metal stakes deeply stuck into the ground. Examining the nearest knot, you see it's old and gnarled and seemingly impossible to free. So intricate and tightly tied it is. You try another knot, finding just the same, and all remaining 4, of course, are no different. They are identical, undoable, untieable. And yet, even though this all appears to be impossible, those words she said come back to you, that in your field of dreams you'd experience your miracle. You'd find your own balloon and fly away, escaping poison nicotine so easily. And here you are, within your field of dreams. You've found your own balloon, and so, patiently and faithfully, you stand beside your basket, waiting for your miracle, knowing it will come. Until now, there you see a glass and quickly moving vehicle driving through this airfield straight towards your own balloon, and from it climbs the military surgeon, resplendent in her uniform, familiar of face with winning smile, a very welcome smile indeed. Kindly climb into your basket now, says she. There you'll find your miracle. A golden sword. You'll know it's yours. You'll see your name is written on its handle. And so you do climb into your basket, and there you see your golden sword, just as she said you would, there in one corner. Seeing now your name stamped clearly, plainly, unmistakably here upon the handle, just as she said you would. Approach your golden sword, grip it by the handle. Instantly you recognize this blade as yours, as being part of you, sensing this extension of your being as this is, forged from faith found deep within yourself, forged from your own true being, your hidden store of potency, your core of absolute belief. And now you know precisely what you need to do, placing now your golden sword within the open, waiting, able hands of the surgeon. She takes it decisively. And so now, with confidence, with purpose, and with concrete self-assurance, safe within your basket, you watch as your surgeon raises your golden sword high above her head. She brings it down with surgical precision, cleanly slicing through the first of the 6 knots that hold your basket to the ground. And as the first of your 6 knots is severed, surrendering so easily, you sense release as yours. And watching now, in joyful fascination, witnessing the facts of inner change, seeing now your miracle unfolding, just as she said you would. You see her slicing cleanly through each knot in quick succession, relieving you of nicotine for good. You see her standing now before your final knot. You see her raise your blade. You see her bring this down with one decisive strike, this final cut, so sharp and clean. And now, unleashed, your basket leaves the ground. You rise into the sky above and know and clearly realize your miracle is granted as you feel the corresponding knowledge of release, a rush of victorious good feelings, wonderful feelings and sensations of world-changing pleasure, deepening pleasure, because your cords are cut completely, severed each and every one that kept you anchored to that tricky little chemical. Every last connection gone, so feeling only ever mounting pleasure as your basket rises ever higher. Passing through the clouds, you find your sun is shining brightly and your joy is uncontainable. As now you watch the sun begin to set upon the life you knew before, and watch entranced as now, having risen so high, you are directly above the silver surface of the moon. You see it pass below you now in wonder, and realize your miracle is real. As you gently travel back towards the earth, released forevermore, you know nicotine is laughable, ridiculous, forgettable, and all of that is over now and done, because you've closed your mind to nicotine forever. Yes, it's absolutely gone. And it's funny how things change, isn't it? We change ourselves completely all the time, changing who we are, changing how we live in this time, because that's what people do. Things come, things go, and now that that has gone for good, you know you are remade. You hear a warm and friendly human voice, and yes, you recognize that voice. A voice you've learned to trust. The military surgeon's voice, and she is saying, as you return from anesthetic dreams, I have the best news for you. Your procedure is complete and fully successful. All 6 of your nicotine glands have now been entirely removed, along with your addiction. She says, your deeper mind accepts this change for certain now, because addictive glands are gone for good and all is well. And so, in all of you and each of you, in every part, persona, character, in every story that you tell yourself about yourself, in each and every single one, nicotine's no longer you. It isn't in you anymore and can't get back. because it has no place to be. It's not your thing, no longer your affair, and this is true. No signals could be sent again, so no desires can know. There's no place for them to come from, and no place for them to go. And so, you clearly see this truth, that whole disastrous, difficult, horrible mess, your entire entanglement with that horror that once was, that tricky little chemical, has simply ceased to be, removed, dismissed, cut out and gone, disposed of for all time, so ready now to be forgotten. It has no power to bother you again, because it simply isn't there. And since the very idea of kissing nicotine by smoke or vape is something that turns your stomach, you are, therefore, completely free. And accepting this as the fact of the matter, you leave the Air Force Base with deep feelings of contentment, certain in your knowledge of complete release. Such different feelings in your stomach now, you know you found your peace of mind, and so you vow to never let it go. And you'd think, would you not, that since you've always felt that, there was always something very dark about nicotine, you might wonder exactly why it ever bothered you at all, because you no longer want to even think about it anymore, because you just don't want it. So it just no longer bothers you. You just don't want it. And being so pleased with how this sounds, you can hear yourself say to yourself, I just don't want it anymore. And that sounds so good that every part of you now says the same, over and over and over again. So, anchored now in certainty, your self accepting happily, contentedly that things have changed for good. Your body, having naturally turned away from this poison, and so your mind does too, in each and every part of you, and so therefore it simply doesn't come up. And that's the relief of a lifetime, isn't it? This very first hour of living your new, easy, true life as things have come to be, as you were always meant to be, as you are living now. A weightlessness of being in body, mind, and soul. And so, from here on in, you feel as if you never were a smoker or a vapor, as you just don't want it anymore. You just don't want it. You just don't want it. Doing what you do each day, it simply isn't there. Your life as lived before, but free from nicotine, that tricky little chemical, has left you now for good. And having made this simple, easy change, adjusting all your inner workings now to fit within these new attractive facts so comfortably and well, this brand new you. Your lungs are feeling loved again, able now to breathe, already feeling pressure dropping, and quite marvelous, because there's no effort required at all. A miracle, just as that woman said. It's true, and no question, because you do now feel exactly as she said you would. Your miracle has happened, and you are over the moon because of it, free and completely unconcerned about the matter. Nicotine just couldn't ever bother you again, because you just don't want it. And now that old dark spell has been permanently broken, and your nicotine glands are gone, your ever-present deeper mind in unself-conscious being, this part of you that wants all parts of you to live forever, gladly turning all that long attention now towards these things, so much more brightly interesting, satisfying, fascinating, captivating, life-enhancing, wonderful ideas now of how to live the happy, healthy, wholesome life with ease. A truly marvelous release, an easy release, and something you can keep forever yours as part of you, as who you are. The heart in your identity, unbreakable reality, becomes you now, as you. And slowly, as you float back into welcome, waking consciousness, with zero thoughts for nicotine, now, forevermore, being hateful of its source, being all the proof you need of your release. You know, this feeling of relief exists because something deeply held inside you now can understand those glands are gone, and gone for your own good. This world becomes a better place to be, just as it was before you ever met that tricky little chemical, because those facts have changed. And change is good, so good, the saving grace of life itself. This miracle, this grace has saved your life, and so, of course, you do feel sincere commitment to this change. You lock this goodness in, your treasure store of wellness and your source of new delight. And you can take the time you need before emerging now from unself-conscious mind, being as you are again, as once you were before, a non-smoker, a non-vapor, divorced from nicotine, now effortlessly free forevermore, meaning there's no need to keep this a secret any longer. You can let everybody know. Now you are waking up to your new life.